What do you mean scuff in 3, 2? Shut up, Molio. Molio? Molio. What kind of name is Molio anyway? Sounds like mold. Moldio? Modolio. I'm not scuffed. Scuff would be, the technology failing. No, I'm not scuffed. I'm pathetic, because I was late. Since you're late, can we go now? Actually, I wasn't late. I was rescheduled. I was only late by 1 minute. All right. How's everyone? Did that just happen? Staff, can we kill the millennial in my chat? I can't handle garbage. I'll get my gloves dirty. If the teacher's late, we're legally allowed to leave. You're legally allowed to die. Get out of here. I hate you. I'm a little bit tired today. The bartender tells me that my biggest crime is of sloth. What can I say? Just gotta make sure that everything is good. I did a lot of recording yesterday, and so all my settings are kind of out of whack, so forgive weird volumes and me tweaking things on screen. This is more of a relaxed chat today. I know, do we ever have those? Do we ever have truly relaxed chats? I wonder that myself.
You're my favorite emotional train wreck. 3.
I'll have you know, I'm very emotionally balanced. I would never wreck a train. You know, train robberies are beneath me. If I'm gonna steal from someone, I'm gonna make them think that they handed it over willingly.
Thanks for the life advice you gave last stream. It really did help sort out my thoughts and goals. She doesn't hate us, chat. You.
No, I do hate you. I do hate you. I don't know what you're talking about. Just because I can give sage advice doesn't mean I like you. Come on now. Just like how a broken clock is right twice a day, even your greatest of enemies can always have a good point if you listen carefully. A relaxed chat about Hollywood. So, Hollywood is a concept, as much as it is a place or an idea. And when gathering my thoughts for today, I was sitting with the idea of how the VTuber space, online entertainment in general, very much so reflects the sensibilities of the offline space in places like Hollywood, the entertainment industry as a whole. Like, we saw it with the rise of flesh tubers on YouTube, and now that we're seeing VTubers step into the fray, again, it mirrors how fast YouTube evolved, but in record time. Like, we're seeing, what's it called? It's like a petri dish? We're seeing the evolution of humanity at 2 times speed. Oh, just 1 second. At 10 times speed. Hollywood took pretty much 100 years to develop into the monster it is today. YouTube took 10. VTubing is fast approaching what YouTube is in general. And I feel like there's like a convergence point where everything is very similar. And YouTube is almost there, if not there already. We see it with the blending of the micro e-celebrity and real Hollywood all the time. Like, we get YouTubers in big budget films by massive studios these days. VTubers feel like they're going through the motions that YouTubers went through around the time of the adpocalypse. VTubing was already a thing in Japan before it got to the West. Oh no, I know. But Western entertainment industry and just globalized entertainment industry in general seems to be following certain repeat patterns, and I wonder how much of that is human nature. Who would you say is the Harvey Weinstein of VTubers? Gunrun. Actually, wait, no, I can't actually say real names. Me. I'm the Harvey Weinstein of VTubers because I can make excellent movies, but I'm a monster. Isn't it just capitalism? Businesses competing for different niches? Yes, but it's capitalism with a twist. I'd say the entertainment industry, while it has core capitalistic principles, it has the added development of public human humiliation. Dealing with egos, dealing with reputations. Full display of the people involved. Whereas a lot of businesses, you see the businesses as monoliths, as entities, or sometimes even as their CEOs. You don't typically see them as all of the people underneath. Whereas entertainers in an entertainment industry, they're all their own little monolith, and they represent themselves for the most part. And so their reputations are directly tied to every single move they make, the clothes they wear, the way they breathe, the gait in which they walk, the politics they ascribe to, the movies they decide to be in. It's the commodification of human nature. And we see the longer these industries are around, the more that people break down. They become very neurotic, very calculating, and you have to be that way to survive in industries that get bigger and scarier and reward bad behavior. You're not a monster, boss, just a short fuse. I'll have you know that I am the worst monster you'll ever see. Do you know why? Do you know why I'm the worst monster you're ever going to meet? Because I don't feel like a monster. Easy to lose yourself in the rush of it. It's because she's white woman. Sexy monster. I'm a big tall can of monster. More like a calculated monster, IMO. Calculation isn't necessarily evil. Like, being a calculated, wise individual doesn't make you scheming and evil. But it does mean that you are very much so a very different kind of person. At a certain level, those who are naive in any form of entertainment industry end up being crushed underfoot by those that are very good.
Of course you're a monster. You're a woman.
I am an evolved being, I'll have you know. Just because I have the most voluptuous feminine body, it doesn't make me the sum of my parts. No. I am a monster because I don't ascribe by any code of ethics. I don't work within the labor laws. Do you guys honestly think that the little housing that you toons live in is clean? Do you think the wiring in the walls is safe? There's no OSHA for me to violate. I'm pinching pennies. I'm clipping nickels. You guys are nothing to me. Anyway. Can we have a union? We still get dental though. Of course, I'm not a monster. But in all seriousness, if you don't have skeletons in your closet in this industry, people will create them for you. Because everybody needs to leverage everybody else. It doesn't matter how kind of a person you are, how good you are at avoiding getting into situations, how genuine of a person you are. You yourself will always end up with something that somebody can hold over your head, even if it's artificial. And I've seen that a lot in the indie space these days. I've seen that a lot online. I see that a lot in Hollywood. People say that the Hollywood elite and that those in the entertainment industry and in politics, that they sell their souls to the devil. If it were possible, I'm sure that they would. I think it's just more a reflection of the behavior of what it takes to become a public figurehead after a certain size. I'm not saying there isn't a genuine person in the room, but like, think of poor Brendan Fraser. Today's International Men's Day, at least where I am, in relation to your world. And all I can think of is Brendan Fraser. Bro was like brutally sexually assaulted, and then that was held over his head. And then he lost his career. He lost face. He lost respect from his peers. He wasn't able to work at something he was good at what he loved for like over a decade. Even when he came back, everything felt like it was a humiliation ritual, because instead of celebrating the acting, people would only talk about his abuse story. And I think this is a crackpot conspiracy theory. I just think he pissed off the wrong person. I knew he disappeared from movies for a couple of years. Was that why? Oh, yeah, 100%. Like, when I will say, the online Me Too movement was visceral, naive, and all of the worst people took advantage of it. But that was when Brendan Fraser came out with his story, because he was like the one guy in the Me Too movement, so to speak, that was like, yeah, you know, men can get abused. Case in point, my life is fucking ruined. Yeah. The Johnny Depp case is a similar case. The Johnny Depp case is complex because it's very, very true that Amber Heard was abusive and disgusting. But it also has to be said that while he was innocent in that regard, he also provably has done many things to her and other women. So I do think that, you know, it was very justified that he took her to court and that he flayed her alive. But again, you don't get that famous without skeletons in your closet, and I'm sure one day the court of public opinion is going to swing back and crush him to death. But Sabes, you don't understand. Male abuse is funny. Ahaha. Didn't he admit his faults, though? Hey, look, I'm not saying that Amber Heard was right. I just said she deserved everything that came to her, and then some. I think she shouldn't get another job in Hollywood ever again. But, you know. Well, I sympathize with him because it's very difficult for me to see a male victim of abuse and to not feel bad, you know? I also can understand that it's more of a complex situation and that we absolutely don't know everything. What about celebrities who make it to retirement before they're unmasked? Those are the ones that are the most dangerous. Those are the ones that have successfully played the long game and won. They're probably the people that have buried the most underground, you know? I genuinely want to know how many celebrities, how many YouTubers, big YouTubers, how many historical large Hollywood celebrities and their wranglers are actually, like, murderers. Like, specifically murderers. And the reason I say that is because it's very difficult of a crime to, like, cover up. But they cover up so much, you know? They cover up insane amounts. Some that don't come out long after they're dead, you know? But really, how difficult is it if you've got police in your back pocket, if you're in, you know, such a cutthroat industry, to make your competition die of a suicide attempt or a drug overdose when they're in the height of their career? My favorite conspiracy in that angle is that I don't think Michael Jackson died accidentally from an overdose. I do think he was murdered. I don't think the guy was innocent of anything. I think that he was probably a massive scumbag. But I do also think that he absolutely was murdered. Probably not even for the bad things that he probably did, but because he was in the way and he was too big. Communists hate the rich because they're rich. I hate the rich because they're corrupt. We're not the same. Corruption is interesting because it takes a very certain kind of person to succumb to it. Because I highly doubt that every single person that has, you know, fallen to corruption started off that way. I'm sure many people were idealistic. That said, perhaps maybe they were born to be easily manipulatable. Or maybe they weren't actually as idealistic, and they were just performing it. Maybe they always secretly had those inherent desires and capabilities inside of them, and they just needed to be put in an environment that rewarded that behavior. Which then begs the question, how many of our favorite entertainers are sociopaths? Probably like 90% of them. Now, I'm not a sociopath. I'm a monster. That's a different thing. Power doesn't corrupt, it reveals. 100%. Is there a VTuber shadow government? How much research do you do before making these kinds of streams, or do you just shoot from the hip? These are Rantcasts. These come in with zero research. This is all a conversation between two individuals that have just kind of pulled up a chair, cracked open a cold one, and they're just shooting the shit. If I ever came into something with proper research, that's when I bring out slideshows. That's when I don't label it a rantcast. I label it something else. I want you guys to realize that I don't speak from any position of authority. Okay? I'm speaking from... I'm speaking off the top of my head. I'm musing. I'm seeing what the flavor of the room is. Not necessarily wanting, clapping seals to agree with everything I say, but I want to see what other people think. I want to see if maybe there's new information I can learn that changes my mind. What would you do if you had $1 billion? Well, as the owner of a casino, I already have $1 billion. But if I had another $1 billion that I could just burn...
Katya refuses to speak on Big VTube.
There is no Big VTube. Orwell said power corrupts. Oh.
Orwell said power corrupts, but Frank Herbert said it is magnetic to the corruptible, and absolute power is magnetic to the absolutely corruptible.
Absolutely. I look at people in positions of power, I look at politicians, and I myself wonder, am I capable of being corrupted? Am I? As a human, what is the threshold for me? I like to think that I'm a perfect creature. I think everybody here likes to think that even if they're not a good person, that they're at least working within their own sense of morality.
They know too much, fellow VTuber.
Know what? There's nothing to know! Anyway. I don't think a certain amount of money would corrupt me. If I was to fall into the hands of corruption, I feel like it would need to be situational. I feel like it would need to be environmental. I feel like if I was to lose who I am today and evolve into someone unrecognizable, willing to do anything for a scrap or position of power, I would have to be very heinously damaged. Hi. The numbers, what do they mean? The numbers don't mean anything! Oh, boss is perfect. All hail, cute boss. Yes. All hail. Can I just do a quick tangent on has-been? Katya working for Big Red. I keep losing roulette. Maybe you should just pick better! I like to think I'm a selfless person that can't be corrupt. That can't be tough to corrupt, though. It's not hard to corrupt the uncorruptible, I should know, because I was like that for a time.
You can absolutely be corrupted with the right incentive. You already have a devil on your shoulder and a craving for certain gotcha characters.
You leave Kaya out of this! Look, corruption's a great tag, okay? Anyway, I'm not going to talk about the finale, but I am going to talk about Vox Populi. Like, as the song itself. And Vox DA. Vox Populi and Vox DA. While Has-Been is a slop show with shit writing, with subpar writing, a slop show with subpar writing, those two songs fascinated me because they were written not as like this character is a revolutionary who's going to take down the thing. They were written as, this is a politician, you know, reaching out to the people in language they understand and swinging them over to their side. And throughout the song, it references a lot of politicians of today and of yesteryear. Like, Vox, one of his one-liners is, he's gonna make hell great again. He also calls himself the Führer. There was a reference to Benito Mussolini in there somewhere. But the whole time I'm listening to it, and I'm jamming. I'm having the time of my life, and I'm listening to all these references, and they're rolling off, and I'm like, mildly amused, but ultimately, the song is written so politically. Like, not politically as in, like, oh, politics, politically as in, it is designed to manipulate the crowd. I know he's bad, because he was the bad guy, right? The show framed him as the bad guy, and we saw him plotting his evil deeds. But if I was somebody who had, like, I had no context, if I was in that crowd, in the show, and this guy shows up and he says all of the things he said in that song, even if some of the words he used were questionable, like, he was making enticing promises to a large array of people, even if it was for his own selfish reasons. And it made me wonder how susceptible to really good propaganda I am. If a politician in, like, real life, if in Feyres, in, let's say we had somebody wanting to start an uprising here in Chiron. They wanted to take down the Empress. Never gonna happen, by the way. How susceptible am I to somebody charming, somebody well-spoken, somebody who can use good points as a weapon to make me not question, to make me reconsider my position, right? The reason people are charmed by their opponents, why they switch sides, is because, well, every single side always has solid logic behind it. That's why it can be a full formulated side. That's why people move around politically all the time, because every single side has points they want to make that have value and merit. It's about picking who you want to support more, right? So, how manipulatable of a human am I in regards to propaganda? How easy would it be to get me to abandon my morals, my worldview? Because I'm tapping my feet, I'm enjoying this musical propaganda, and I'm going, hold on. If this shit happened in real life, if somebody bounced down the streets of Chiron and they paid for a massive musical number, could I be convinced to vote for something? Could I be convinced to join in a militia? And I came across the startling realization that I don't know if I would jump out the gate to do it, but I'd probably let my guard down. Because I'm somebody that likes to be entertained. I like to think I'm well-spoken. I like to think that I think things through critically. I like to think that I'm smart. But I will admit that I'm not. At least I don't think so. I think that everybody has capabilities for their intelligence, places they can reach. But I don't think that I'm the smartest. I think that I could be swayed. And I don't like that. I think I want to work on that. I think I need to start being more critical of everything I consume, of everything anyone ever says. Because at the end of the day, everybody has a secondary goal, good or bad. A lot of people have good secondary goals, but being charmed by fantasy propaganda and then watching the VTuber space yesterday go up in effing flames because of an incident where somebody was acting two-faced, then three-faced, then four-faced, I'm not going to get into that, by the way. That was... If you're on Twitter, you know exactly what I'm referencing. Watching the rise and fall of the legitimacy of Hollywood and the rise and the sterilization of the internet star, the new age of the digital AI companion, I think it's in my best interest to start guarding my mind just a little more, a little harder. Take everything with paranoia, everything with a grain of salt. And you guys would all be wise to do such too. You can love your Oshis, you can support your Oshis, but be more critical of them. Guard your mind, your heart, your soul, and the ultimate form of respect, I think, personally, you can have for an individual is to question them. If they are somebody worth caring about, you will actively question their motives, what they do, who they are, what they say. That means that they're balanced and interesting. That also means that you're intelligent enough to recognize when you're being played. And you know what? I don't want to live my life being played. I'd rather live my life being in a position where if I need to play another person, I can, and then never have to do it. I think that's the best place that every single person can be in. Live in strength, but also choose honesty. But what if baby wants to play? Okay, spoonful. Hi, Undying, have a donut. Billy Donuts, what about my donut? I've been working real hard today. I've been chatting a lot. Give me my donut. Billy!
You are probably too far off mental baseline to be affected by mass propaganda. Not immune to propaganda, vulnerable to propaganda aimed at you.
Potentially.
I will vote for whoever strips Knive ears of their rights and makes the women subservient wives.
You see, this is a candidate I would vote for. See, red hair across. If there was a voting system and it wasn't entirely dictated by the Valorbane, I would vote for whoever can strip women of their rights. I clip all the knife ears. I think put those vile animal and dragonoids back in cages. I think we need to bring back slavery, but like only specific kinds of slavery. I do think slavery is like vile and repugnant, but they're not human. Like the animal dragonoid elf people, they're not people. I think it would help with our labor shortage.
I actually hope it gets fake and gay faster. So fake and so gay the most oblivious normies can see it. Then everyone goes outside again.
I hate to break it to you, but it's a frog in a pot situation. Not crab in a bucket, but frog in a pot. The thing about a normie is that a normie is like a frog. You put it in the water, and if it's normal temperature water, it'll sit there. Then you slowly turn up the heat. It'll stay in the pot, readjusting its comfort to the water. And even when it's boiling, it's just going to stay there until it dies. That's what frogs do. If you take a normie frog, though, and you take it from the cold air and you throw it directly into the boiling pot, it's going to jump out. It's not going to stay there and be cooked alive. Things get slowly worse over time, not because the system is degrading, but because that is the most effective way to ultimately have an end game where those who control what is said and done can retain their control over what's said and done. Gradual. Overnight change almost never works because it is too shocking for those that are incapable of moving along with sudden change. If everyone was capable of it, then all our problems could be solved overnight with a quick flip of a switch, with a swapping out of a politician and a few policies implemented instantly. Those that are capable of adjusting on the fly, they would be fine. But they have to rely on the good-natured capabilities of those who need to be warmed up into concepts and ideas and setups. It's why all the most successful campaigns in history, convincing a major population to either vote one way or another, or to join a war, or to abstain from a fight, or to do small changes in their community, all of them were slow campaigns that built over time, that appealed to mass sensibilities, when in reality their final goal was one or two very specific things that they wanted to accomplish, and they never intended on those other things in the first place. You warm up everybody with what they already know, understand, and are used to and like, and then you introduce a little bit of discomfort. They wrap their minds around that discomfort, and it joins the fray of the things they care about, and eventually you get to a position where you can add in the things that you want, that initially people would have outright rejected if that was the only thing you wanted to add. He who controls the past controls the future. He who controls the present controls the past. Orwell couldn't have said it better. I need to read Orwell. Was he the one that wrote Animal Farm? Or 1984? Let me check. My classical literature is admittedly very stunted. We don't get very many books that fall through the portal. George Orwell. I will say that I have an embarrassing lack of knowledge when it comes to classical literature. I just know the ones that I like. And I think I need to rectify that in the coming year or so. I need to read more genuine, solid classical literature. Okay, yeah, Animal Farm. Oh, and 1984. I'm enjoying this BGM. Oh, is the music too loud? Hold on. You guys never tell me when the BGM is too loud, I swear! Have you read Paradise Lost? I have read Paradise Lost. Do you read visual novels, boss? Not unless I have a gun pointed to my head. I think the last visual novel I read was Slow Damage, I'm gonna be entirely honest, and that was not because I wanted to expand my brain, but because I'm a filthy, disgusting creature. You see, everybody has base needs in their life, and I have the need for entertainment. I need to have the little demon in the back of my brain, the little itch scratched. It's why I love musicals so much, actually. But no, I don't typically do visual novels. I don't typically, unless it's like a collab or it's a game I've been really looking forward to because of a storyline idea, or I was already starting it and I need to finish it, I don't play video games. Like, I only play video games on stream. Genuinely, as soon as the camera goes off, I do not crack open video games. Ever. Like, people spend their time in different ways. People have different hobbies. People take value from different forms of entertainment. I only watch movies when I'm watching it with other people because I see that as a great bonding experience and some shared media that can be talked about afterwards. Anime and TV shows are easy for me to consume because I can do work in the background at the same time. Novels typically, I pick and choose novels based on underlying themes and what I want to get from it. And even then, it takes a lot of time and effort, and I have to be pretty much without the capability of doing any work or any other forms of entertainment to want to pick up a book. Like, let's say I'm in a long carriage ride. I like to listen to music and I like to read books then. But video games? Video games have no functionality for me unless I'm playing them on stream.
Katya the Luddite.
The Luddite. Shut up! With your taste, you'd make for a great Drukarki.
With your taste, you'd make for a great Drukarki.
I have no idea what a Drukarki is. Time to Google it. I'm just getting stuff in another language. But yeah, for video games, I don't see the point in doing it unless I'm in front of an audience who wants to experience those stories at the same time as me. At that point, if I want to touch a video game, I would rather just have a Let's Play open in the background and treat it the same way that I treat a TV show. I don't have the bandwidth and the patience to sit down and play a video game for the story. I'd rather just watch it. I'd rather watch someone else's reactions to it even. But personally playing it doesn't have the same, like, emotional payoff for me as it does for many other people. Drukari. The Dark Elves Warhammer 40k. Interesting. I can understand that you have streamer brain. That could be part of it, but even before I ever did streaming, I couldn't play video games. Like, it wasn't something I did. I think the only video game that I ever really, like, well, I played some video games casually, but again, I treated the same way that I treated movies. I would only really do it with other people in the room, or if they were multiplayer, because then I could spend time with other people. Or on the recommendation of someone else so that I'd have something to talk to them about.
Oh god, you're one of those.
Man, that's why I watch Mandalore Gaming. Mandalore is so fucking fun. Is this the I didn't say the F word, by the way. Is this the same Mandalore that did Secret of the Druids? Because if it's the same... Hold on. Mandalore. I'm sure it's the same one. Yeah! Man, I love He's so silly. Mandalore is so silly. What's your opinion on ARGs or other YouTube-generated fiction? I used to love them. Like, I used to be fascinated by ARGs. I thought the idea of it had the same appeal as, like, puzzles, you know? But I kind of grew a bit tired of them once they started getting very formulaic, following the same kind of patterns, the same kind of puzzles. There's only really like one or two that I'm still really into, but one of them kind of fizzled out and disappeared. And that would be the Pasta Burger ARG. I like the Pasta Burger ARG. So sad that it's just like kind of dead right now. The Mandela Catalog? Again, at the beginning, I was very intrigued by it. It was good entertainment to have on in the background and watch other people disseminate. But, I don't know. Currently, I'm kind of just out of love with it. I'm a little bored with it. Yo, this is crazy! First stream I could ever catch Katya live. Is that wrong? Yes, that's wrong. That's wrong. SGT, Apple, you're dead. You didn't catch me alive. I caught you dead. Dead to rights! You know, I could kill you. I could kill you right now. And nobody would believe you. Nobody would rescue you. In my office, no one can hear you scream. What do you think, Mambo? Should I nuke this guy? Ah, excellent, excellent. Bye. So, twisting back to has-been. Vox Populi is a direct translation for the voice of the people, and it's often used in political propaganda and historically. That was a phrase that was very prominent back, was it the Roman Empire? I think with it being brought into modern consciousness, especially amongst the youth in a media like that, I wonder if we're going to see it more in other places. Genuinely. I wonder if we're going to see resurgences of other traditional slogans, sayings, thought experiments, practices. Slogos. I mean, hell, if I had a banger slogan, I'd love it to be made into a beautiful logo. Chat, can you guys make me a slogo right now that says, I'm gonna kill you, and it'll look like an accident, and, like, have Pennyworth in the middle somewhere? Like, I think that would be a beautiful slogo. Thank you. New slur drop. That's not a slur! Slogo slinted. Best I can do is screen capture the Cat in the Hat movie. Okay.
Slogos slinted.
Slogo slinted. Para, watch the damn finale so I have somebody I can talk at about it! To paraphrase Markiplier, what if I want you to kill me? What if I want you to try? Well, first I'd say, yo, is that a Markiplier reference in the big year of this year? I'll work on it on Friday. Para, you sicken me, you disgusting troglodyte! You won't even indulge my whim of watching trash TV? What are you? A miserable worm! You can't get good help in this godforsaken casino. Did you know they finally popped open the coffin for Unis Honest? Did they? Is that the slogo of 87? What is a man? What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets! Wanna watch Vita Carne? I've watched Vita Carnes. Yes, Carne. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah. What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets. But enough talk. How about you? Man, I like Castlevania. International Men's Day today. Yes, Gumi, I mentioned that a little earlier. And effusively, thank you for the 5 gift subs. I'm in the casino. I'm up into casino. Straight up. gambling it, and by it, I mean my chips. What's happening to chat? What do you mean? Just realized that boss sounds like Mother from Malcolm in the Middle. That is the meanest thing I've ever heard. Can we go back to accusing me of sounding like Opera O? That sounds way nicer in comparison. How dare you? Man, I was gonna talk about... Oh, International Men's Day. Yeah. Brought it up a little bit earlier when we were talking about Brendan Fraser. But to all of the men in chat, well, you wish you could be evolved beings like me. Take care of yourselves. It's a rough life out there. A rough humanity. Preserve yourself. You're not wallets. You're not bank accounts. You are not the arms you move dirt with, and you are not the legs you walk around on. You are a mind. You are a soul. You are a cohesive creature with thoughts, feelings, goals, aspirations. And if you feel like you have fundamental pieces of you missing, it's hardly a fault. It's a feature. In the coming year, you can choose to work on what you feel like you lack.
No evolved being is scared of dogs.
I will have you know dogs are fucking... They're terrifying! Dogs are terrifying! What's wrong with you?
No, you.
If Lucid... Huh? Thank you for the Akasupa. No, you. No, you. No, you. You're very sweet. Thank you very much. Even a Chihuahua, especially Chihuahuas, their high energy just freaks me out, okay? Dogs are terrifying. Dogs are government spies. They're sleeper agents. Everybody talks about the birds, but nobody talks about the dogs, okay?
Thank you, boss less than 3.
Dark flame. Thank you. Thank you for the 5K ARS. Thank you. Scared of dogs? You want Hassan's shot collar for Christmas with that in mind? If I had Hassan's shot collar, it would go on all of you. It would go on all of you. Y'all need to be zapped. You need some behavioral correction. You need some adjustment. You need some balancing. All feds go to heaven slave.
Dogs are not terrifying, they just can't handle your aura.
I'll take that. I'll take that. Now, I like cats. Cats are nice. I would never own one. I think that they're easier to handle emotionally for me. They're less scary, less abrasive to me. Rabbits are like if dogs were running on rat hardware. A mixture of a dog and a cat and a rat all smooshed together. Rabbit, but with the benefit of being really stupid. Like really heinously stupid. They sneeze and cause themselves to have heart attacks. They're so scared of their own sneeze and they die. Like, they are the perfect creature, in my opinion. I quite like rabbits.
But seriously, thank you for those words, boss.
Hey, what is a good boss if not one that can support their subordinates, huh? Rabbits taste good too. Oh, rabbits are delicious. Have you guys never had Hassenpfeffer? I would highly recommend it if you have the opportunity. Rabbit and venison are two of the best meat dishes. We don't get them very often here, though, in the casino. I would like to try venison again. Wait, is there actually an International Men's Day, or is this just a joke? Do I look like the type of person that would joke about that in particular? If it was a joke, then I would still take it seriously, because it's one of those things that gets swept under the rug and mocked and belittled. I'm not gonna go, hey, all men, go to therapy, work with your emotions, feel yourselves, because nobody wants to be, like, you know, talked down to like they're a child. Nobody wants to be talked at. You've got agency. Build towards self-respect and earning the respect of others. And if you feel like you're disenfranchised and you're in a weakened state and position, know that life only stops when you die. And every single day, you can give everything up and start from an empty slate. You can throw everything in the trash, be homeless, walk on foot to another town, rob a liquor store, beat up other people. You can win the lottery. Like, every single day is a brand new reset button for an entirely new life. It is only your decision, only your comfort, only your strategy and your plans for the future that make every day cohesive and blend into each other. The only day that you no longer can do things from the ground up is the day that you die. Even into your 80s, even if you have dementia, even if you're heavily physically incapacitated, you're crippled, you went to war and your legs were both blown off and you're in a wheelchair, people are capable of incredible, crazy, insane things. And it's entirely through the power of their mind, of their ability to scheme. And this International Men's Day, I want you to understand the value you have as a man and as an individual, as a person, as an intelligent being. Life only stops when you die. As a certified necromancer, I disagree. Hey, AGS, for scientific reasons, could you hook me up with that necromancy? I have some fun things I want to get up to. Hey, boss, how are you today? I'm doing well, Blossom of Thorns. How many times did you restart, boss? I'd say in my life, I've done soft resets about 6 times. Which is honestly quite a lot. Have I ever had a hard restart? Once. And every day I wonder what it would be like to do a true restart. I don't think I'm in a position where I want to do a true restart, where I abandon everything, have a new identity, start from the ground up. But I know I'm capable of it, and if life became horrible, I would do it. Yo, anybody gonna buy the new Black Ops? Just kidding, you're the only person I don't want to have rights. I think you need your rights stripped away and you need to be put in a cage. You need to be dismembered and you need to be flayed alive and you need to be fed to your fellow prisoners. Black Ops 6. Get better tasting games! Coyote Briggs. I'm 32 and have been crippled for 12 years now in constant pain. I'm still going. It's hard some days, and I've needed outside help to keep going, but I'm still going. I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you. But more importantly, you need to be proud of yourself. No man is a mountain, but every man must stand alone. And when I say man, in this instance, I mean everybody. Like general man humanity. But build where you need to be. Hey, Katya, I'm going to bed. Can you give me a good night bullet? I don't want to give you that satisfaction, you sick freak. My bullets are reserved as punishment. It's kind of you to say, boss. Makes me feel a bit guilty for reporting you to the...
That's kind of you to say, boss. Makes me feel a bit guilty for reporting you to the commissariat for hypothesizing that you could be propagandized against the Empress earlier. Take half the bounty.
You know, some of you are real cheeky bastards, I will say. Bullets are crunchy. That's true. They're an excellent donut topping, aren't they, Billy? No man is an island except for Epstein. You leave my Oshi out of this. No man is an island, but we're all wet. You know what? You are a contender for a brand new shiny almond. Take it. To hell with you, Rammy Fricks. Do it! Do me the favor! Thought she was out of bullets. I'm never out of bullets. This doesn't run on bullets. This is pennies worth. He runs on a mana stone. Well, a mana stone, an arcana stone, so to speak. This little guy's alive. This little guy's got a mind of his own. And you know, sometime later this week, I've got my hands on some technology where he's gonna give you guys a conversation. You're gonna have a nice little chat with him. I'm very excited. Mostly because then people will stop calling me crazy! You telling me Pennyworth doesn't run on pennies? Are you telling me that you, Doctor, don't shift? Huh? Huh? Yeah, wise guy? Ya bozo? Wait, your revolver is a man... It's a revolver. It sounds like a guy, but it's got no genitalia. It's nothing. If anything. For those of you who are, who have the misfortune of being, not lavishly endowed, this could very much so act like a woman to you. I mean, it's got a barrel. Every hole's a goal, right? I'm just kidding, by the way. Please do not have intercourse with my gun. That sounds like a terrible idea. I can't imagine what it would be like to clean. Mind you, this is the first impression of you. I apologize for nothing. I apologize for nothing. That is not my role. My role is to run this casino. Isn't your gun possessed by the ghost of your dead dad? No, not in the slightest. Pennyworth is his own individual. No, he was born the same way that all weapons at Weaponfall were born. Now, how's that? I actually don't know. But he was discovered and he was just born this way, formed this way. He's known no other life. He's not a ghost or a spirit. He's just genuinely he woke up this way. How does one get a cylinder unstuck from a .45 hole? Man, that was a funny post. How does one get a cylinder unstuck from a M&M's tube, asking for a friend. Molio, don't you sex the gun. Don't you mean manufactured this way? No. We're gonna see your gun collection. Ooh, I feel like that would be good. Maybe the day that we go to the shooting range. I'll show you my collection. I've got some earth weapons, and I've got some special weapons imported from Zeiton, and I've got some special handmade weapons. I got so many lovely things. I actually have a crossbow, too. Strange. Tell the gun to stop being sexy. No! Pennies were simply built different. True. Handmade weapons, please do not show off pipe bombs. Are you kidding me? I'm not stupid. I'm not gonna get removed off YouTube for no good reason. Thoughts on people working on the corporate side of Hollywood, from interns to C-suite executives. They fascinate me. Because I'm sure lots of them come into their positions through money, power, influence. But what about the ones that just organically end up there? What kind of person do you have to be? What does your daily life look like? Where you wrangle people. Your smile is very familiar. I saw it somewhere on Instagram from some cartoon guy. Your first mistake was using Instagram in the first place. I'm gonna say it outright. I hate Instagram. I hate that people use it in general. It is like such a boring social media to me. It is a useless social media to me, and it's just another like clone of every other social media out there. I don't spend time on Instagram. I think I have an account. I don't remember. I get that like the reels there are a lot more unhinged than YouTube Shorts, but I just don't see the appeal. Like, it is quite genuinely the normie social media. I don't touch it. Thank you for your blessings, dear sweet populace. TikTok, I used to really like TikTok early on. Like, just post, what was it called beforehand? Not Douyin, after it was Musical.ly. I joined TikTok just after it stopped being Musical.ly, and I liked it at that point, but I fell out of love with it pretty quickly. I find that I succumb to, like many other people, and many of you, for sure, when you open a reel for any, like, social media, like on Instagram Reels, or YouTube Shorts, or TikTok, mindless scrolling. I find it quite repugnant. And I don't like that I so easily succumb to it, that I get, like, really stuck in those time sinks. Because I really, really do value the limited time I have on this, like, existence, you know? And if I accidentally click a short and it's interesting, I get stuck watching shorts for, like, an hour. And it's like, no! That was an hour I could have produced good content. That was an hour I could have drawn a picture. That was an hour I could have had a meaningful conversation. What the heck is wrong with me? I don't even like these.
When is the ASMR files going to be released, Prez?
The what? Interrogation room ASMR when? I mean, we've got casino ASMR up on my YouTube here. If you look, you get ambient casino noises. You can hear the sounds of my patrons losing their mortgage in real time. It's quite lovely. What if one of your rats wanted to intern for Gary Vaynerchuk? Totally not me. Due to his take on how social media is still under-leveraged by legacy media companies. I would say that you would be wise to do so. It's always good to go where power is. But I would question your morality. That said, all depends on your ability, your threshold for succumbing to corruption. Feeding into systems that might use and abuse people that don't deserve it. I'm never going to stop somebody from working towards increasing their power in an increasingly hostile environment, in a world that will crush them. But don't lose yourself along the way. It will happen inevitably, but hold out. Any thoughts on the Steam Machine and GabeCube? I like that it's a square. I like that the front box, the front of the box, you can pop off with different decorative faceplates. I like its flexibility. I like that it's lightweight. I like that it's user-friendly. And I love that it disrupts the market. Like, quite genuinely, for one horrifying moment, I did consider wanting to get one. But that is not something I can reasonably finance at the moment. Especially with my lack of gaming, you know? I think that it's important to own, but at this point in time, it's not something I can justify getting. It all comes back to Cube. Exponer in shambles. That's crazy work. I've said it before, but you can absolutely become wealthy ethically. Winning necessitates losers. However, you can in fact not be a prick in the process of winning. I think ethics and positional kindness are different things.
How do you feel about December coming in so quick?
I think we need to destroy Mariah Carey. I don't like her music. That's my thoughts. But no. I think ethics, you can still be charming and destroy, and break every code of ethics under the sun. I think you can be polite. You can have people love you, but still be a very amoral, ethically roughshod individual. You can absolutely not be a prick, make it to the top, off of the backs and the blood of others. They're not mutually exclusive. That's the term I was looking for. But don't you love Christmas music? I like Michael Bublé. I will say I've got a soft spot for his pseudo-nostalgic music, even though it's all hardcore manufactured to sound that way, whatever. I like Bing Crosby, but I also like Bing Crosby outside of Christmas, too. I like Bubbly Mike, hell yeah. Going to sleep now. Good night. Good night, Pulatrine. what I've returned. What did I miss? When marimba rhythms start to play, blah, 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 dance with me. Please, Santa, cover my debt from the needle ear so I can go drinking and driving again. It feels nice being able to catch a KATYA stream instead of watching the VODs. I'm glad that you're here. Live in the flesh, Tommy. Makes you easier to victimize. Have you ever considered gainful employment? Have you ever considered what your life would be like on the other side? Well, now you don't have to. Crawling in my skin, these wounds, they will not heal. Ow, 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 ow. I lived! Nope. Boss talking is the best background noise for playing Minecraft. Ew, Minecraft. I'm part of 2 SMPs that I need to participate in, but I've been busy! Minecraft is very difficult for me because it requires a lot of offline playing, or playing just in general, I have a very difficult time being entertained by Minecraft. Very difficult time. KATYA Sable's the best ever. Please, please, please. Sylvius! I keep calling you Sylvie. It's Silsies. Sil. I'm just calling you Sil. Silly. I've got sillies over here. Silly. My favorite pirate captain on the deep blue sea. Very attractive woman. I'm too much of a hee blockhouse type guy to understand the more complicated stuff. Yeah, for me, I just like to dig holes. I just like to dig holes. And then I get very bored. Again, it's just one of those things that feels like a time sink with no benefit. I don't like it. I joined the Postal 2 Redux official Discord server, and I missed out on their special meeting, but I wonder how it's going. Because that's a game I enjoy, and I think would be very fun to play on stream. May I play Minecraft with you, Lady KATYA? Beavis, kill yourself. Right now. You see, I would never play Minecraft because I am not somebody who is inferior. That said, if I was invited to an event, I would participate in it to the best of my abilities, but it is not very easy for me to participate. Don't strain yourself from laughing too hard when you play Postal 2, boss. God, I love Postal games. They're so silly. Postal 4 has grown on me, I will say. Would you play any of the Elder Scrolls games? On stream? Yeah, maybe. Again, you guys can list games until your face goes blue. And I will have moderate interest in most of them and in the stories, but at the end of the day, my interest kind of just falls back to, well, why play it when I can watch someone else play it? Solitaire. I like detective games. I like puzzle games. I like my Sherlock Holmes. I need to finish playing Sherlock. Straight up. Schlock. I love my Schlock games. No horror games. Oh, I love horror. But, again, it's more fun when you're playing them with other people because then you can laugh at them going...
Playing games? Go read a book and be productive.
Man. I hate to say it, but I sound like a mother when I say that. I sound like a parent. Yeah, because the games are also time sync, but I don't get bored as easily. I feel like they're less of a time sync because there's an actual story, and there's plots, and there's elements, and there's things to keep you entertained. But block game, it's just block. Sherlock games on Humble Bundle right now. Oh, I own all of them. I just haven't played all of them. Is that a mini boss in the making? Man. When I finally figure out... Maybe I'll kidnap, like, a noble. I'll kidnap a noble and I'll steal his kids. That could work. Hold on, let me blow my nose. Man, I'm a bit tired. I stayed up late to watch the finale of Has Been with people, but then I just ended up not being able to because for some reason or another they were not around. So, went to bed, woke up like 2 hours later than I typically do, even though like I honestly went to bed, like, earlier than I usually do. I usually go to bed at, like, 2 in the morning. And then I wake up at 6 or 7 in the morning. But today it was just like, oh, I have woken up and it is 10 a.m. already. I'm toast. Yeah. No, my sleep schedule is kind of... twisted at the moment. I sleep in like nap-like increments. I don't usually go for full sleeps. I go for like 3 hours at a time, like 3 hours at night, 3 hours midday. Wait, since I had a long sleep last night, I'm tired now. I'm not used to long sleeps. Same, it's 4 a.m. where I am. That's kind of crazy.
Thanks for being the wine aunt I never have auntie.
Of course, darling. Pleasure's all mine. Wine aunt? I would never whine. Do I look like the kind of person that would whine and complain to you? I think that I'm a rather sweet individual. Yeah, yes. Oh, okay. We got some wise guys in chat. We got some funny men. I'm very scared of illicit substances. Alcohol is one thing, I feel like, but anything that's smoked always, like, was a dreadful idea to me. Like, the thing in my pipe right now, that is genuinely just herbal. It is aromatic. It isn't a mind-altering substance. It's quite genuinely just to scent the room. But it's also to aura farm. I don't think I could ever put tobacco in this pipe. You did make an edibles tier list. I put in a hypothetical drug tier list. That doesn't mean that I'm going to do it. The hypothetical nature of it is that it's hypothetical. Considering how my brother described you when initially introducing me, you're sweeter than most. Ah, crap, I need to step up my game. I'm losing my intimidation factor. How am I supposed to inspire fear amongst the populace? Respect amongst the populace? Trick them into giving me all their money against the populace? If they've got the wrong idea. I'm not sweet. I'm strategic. I'm manipulating. I'm manipulating all of you. Yeah. You all don't know it yet, but I'm actually a mastermind. Masterful at deception. This is my gambit. You're all my mental prisoners.
You would definitely go on 2 hours tangent on healthcare.
I have. Healthcare is a joke. You can increase intimidation factor by releasing us all from our debts, boss? Ha! I've heard that one before! I'm not locked in here with you, you're locked in here with me! Exactly! Fear is impossible for those without brain cells. So your archetype is villain in name only. I have inspired fear amongst many, I'll have you know. There's a reason why I have a network. There's a reason why, like, I walk into the streets of Chiron and people shudder when they look at me. Alright? I have destroyed families. I have ruined livelihoods. I literally have slaves in my casino and I pimp out people for sex. Like, I don't know how much more diabolical I can get here.
You should play Metaphori Fantasio. I think you'll really like Luigi Abram.
And one day, standing in front of the gates of the castle of our glorious leader, I'll be holding the severed head of my despicable brother after he suffers humiliation after humiliation. He will live as he dies. Pathetic. Then I shall have a craftsman create a delicate serving dish out of half of his skull.
But you are cute, so you're pardoned of all crime.
Aw, shucks. That's so cute of you to say. What, you have a bridge to sell me too? You pansy? You have a brother? I have a horrible brother. Half-brother. Yeah, for those who have not they're newer to the casino. I suppose my story's a bit infamous around these parts.
Stop lusting after your brother on stream.
Oh, you're effing nasty. You're disgusting. What the absolute... Look. Growing up in a full human household as somebody that had the misfortune of a nasty, Yilvish whore of a mother, I will say growing up, I admired that my brother was the inheritor. I admired his humanity. I admired, you know, the respect that was bestowed upon him. But he burnt the whole house down. He killed everyone.
Do you steal lollipops from babies? Fearful face emoji.
Bold of you to assume I even look at a baby. No, I just sick my rats on the carriage and they eat the thing piecemeal. No. For those who haven't caught up on what's going on here in the casino, I would like to direct you to a very brief summary. Let me pull it up real quick. Oh, shit. I just hit inspect element instead of paste. No! I want to paste! Chat is moving too fast for me. Hold on. There we go. No, I mean, everybody knows, but my brother burnt down the house. He slaughtered my father. He stole everything, basically. The only reason I am where I am now is under the grace of our glorious leader, the wonderful Empress Regent. I owe her everything. You have a bridge to sell me? I've never heard that phrase before. What is the context? The context of the phrase, you have a bridge to sell me, is a scammer will claim that he owns something he doesn't and trick somebody into believing they are purchasing something valuable when in reality they never have ownership over it at all. Tricking somebody into buying a bridge is like, well, it is basically you're trying to scam them into a position of disadvantage. Do not redeem the bridge. Do not redeem. Kind of like buying a star in a way. Oh, absolutely. 100% actually. Never understood the buying a star thing. How difficult is it to keep track of specific stars if they're not already in an organic formation, I wonder?
Toxic incest is Kino though. I ship it.
You're disgusting. Any more of that talk and I am actually muting you. I don't care who you are, how long you've been here on this channel, your historic contributions. Keep talking like that, you're gonna end up with a gag on your mouth. Any thoughts about tarot cards? I don't ascribe to astrology. I don't believe that it has solid validity in reality, but I can appreciate the artistic nature of it. And I can understand that people find comfort and meaning in all forms. Why do people brush their teeth when it's cheaper and easier to steal more? I mean, like, I stole mine. I don't know. I also don't understand.
Can't spell win without incest.
Alright, where's your darn tootin' username so I can ban you? I'm here. Oh, you're so cheeky. Alright, into the timeout box, into the corner with you. Man, I can hear him snickering from across the monitor right now. You guys are freaks. Tarot, I feel, is often used to help people self-reflect without feeling like they're the ones doing it. Tarot is like those who ascribe to the horoscope. It's the same, like, family tree of thought. All outcomes are so widely applicable that anybody can take away anything from it. Good morning, baby. That's crazy, Spoonful. Are you flirting with Scarlet Void in my chat? Am I watching rats seduce each other? Can you guys do your mating dance out of my office? Take it to the bar or something. Let us chatters flirt. No! I can't stand watching you guys be happy in here! Like, what is this garbage? This utter claptrap? This degeneracy? You're supposed to be miserable. My ex talked about how she's blue cycling and preparing her future around star signs and tarot for the perfect date for her future child to be born. I'm not even going to scratch how I feel about that. I'm going to be entirely honest. That would cause issues if I gave you my genuine thoughts. And I've said a lot about a lot of things, but I feel like that particular crash out is for another day. Another day where I can pre-plan strategically how I want to respond to that. Why flirt when there's harlots in the casino? Exactly! Why waste your time when instead you can spend your money? Save yourself the ache, the heartache, the breaking, the emotional damage, the time sink even. The emotional investment just isn't worth it. However, you go upstairs to the 3rd floor for for a fee. I can provide you any of our lovely sensual delicacies. And the best part is, they won't say no. They work on the clock. Chat, you're looking hella cute. You've been working out. Corm. You guys. Silence, wench. I have no interest in harlots. I seek a genuine relationship. You looking for it with the rats? You rats looking for each other? You know what? I can't. You know what? As long as you do your jobs and I do mine, the system keeps working. But I don't want to be seeing any telenovela-style breakups in the casino walls, alright?
None of the harlots are cute and funny enough. How much for you, boss? Kissing face emoji.
Look, dear. Look, dear. Look. Come over here. This horse is not for sale. It's not for riding. I'm a show pony. Yes? I strut. I don't ride. You best remember that. She shot us down. Bang, bang. Bang, bang, he shot me down. Bang, bang, I hit the ground. Bang, bang, that awful sound. Bang, bang, my baby shot me down. You underestimate my loyalty to being a doormat, Tommy Brooklyn. Have some self-respect! When DDR live arcade stream? Thought you were an elf? I am a half Yilv, but more importantly, I am half human, and the human part is what matters the most. Titanfall 2 deserved better. Billy Donuts, that's very... I mean, that's very controversial, but brave of you, I will say. To the Spock of Variance, I see. I will have you know that I do not carry the level of negative riz that Spock has. I'd like to think that I'm capable of being incredibly enticing if I so desired. However, I'm too busy to be enticing. I'm a businesswoman at the end of the day. It's all about the bottom line. All about the dollar. All the dollar at the end of the day. All about the dimes. Yeah? It's all about the dimes, doll. I'd rather be earning them than acting like one. Copium. That's crazy work. You just don't understand what it's like to come across a creature with a vision. You never will. Hello, Nocturne. Me when I lie about getting girls. Well, maybe you shouldn't lie about getting girls and just get them. What do you use your coinage for, ma'am? Wouldn't you like to know, weather boy? I mean, look. I'm not single-handedly funding the military, but I will say that my very profitable business deals with Zeiton have incredible kickbacks. Incredible benefits. I have the most impressive stockpile in the whole country. And when those savages come beating down our doors, we will be prepared with weapons of which they have never even fathomed.
Knife-ear and knife-ears are already a degraded race. It's a wonder that boss can speak.
You know, you act smug. You act superior. And that is your right. But no, at the end of the day, I'll be the one laughing. Because I'm the one with the gun! The one who points the gun has the power. And I've got an awful lot of them. Can your headwear be used in actual gambling parlors as an official gambling apparatus? Does it spin? It does, and it can be. You like my hat? I like my hat. The game was rigged from the start.
What type of currency is in your world? Old Moan?
Well, currently in the Chiron Empire. I mean, each country kind of has their own denomination of currency, but what we're
Can you
using.
call me a good boy, Auntie?
What, you also want me to count back from 10 too, you sick freak? Keep it together! Anyway, we use imperial standard ingots and coinage. So I have amassed quite the wealth in imperial gold pieces. Personally. But yeah, no, we go through imperial standard. The Nakota, I'm not entirely sure what their economy is like at the moment. I feel like they're relying more on a barter system recently. Zeiton, they accept imperial currency, but they've got their own kind of credit system. The conversion rate confuses me at times. Delafia, they're freaks. I don't care about them. The surrounding countries also ascribe to the imperial standard. Most places have like a local coinage system, but for the most part, especially in recent years, Chiron's become an economic powerhouse as such that most places are kind of just converting to us. Hello, Nguyen. Ohio. What do you say? The business is definitely booming in the empire. Oh yeah, business is booming! Holy crap, I have to get through 3 ads to get here. I have been told that the advertising situation has gotten worse on live streams recently. I'm not sure what I can personally do to combat it, but if it's going the way of Twitch...
Also, are you a big fan of the government? Raised eyebrow emoji.
I am a fan of where I can get my greasy little hands. I am a fan of actively imposing change on your own government. Now, where I currently am, it is kind of a monarchy, so I can't do much. But, you know, I'm all for our glorious leader, the Empress Regent, at the moment. There's really nothing to complain about. She keeps me well employed. Been seeing 3 ads of late. Are you 30 on 30? What's 30 on 30? What do you... Love how it's technically an elective monarchy with only 1 voter, Lamau. I mean, it's true. It's true. I mean, the Valor Bane picks and chooses as it sees fit, and throughout all of history, it's only led Chiron to glory and victory, so why would anybody question who the Valor Bane selects? I must depart. I have a long day ahead of me. When you kill your brother, make him cry! Hey! Have a good one, Saragachi.
Incest is rather vanilla compared to what you said you're into. But thank you for your revulsion, boss. I should save money to commission art of you and your brother together as it was meant to be.
Look, I can have taste, okay? I can have selective, solid taste. You guys are disgusting. Dominic, or was it Dominique? When AI crosses the threshold, becomes godlike intellect, will the person, corporate entry who controls it destroy the rest of us or dominate what we used to do when AI replaces us? I can't speak to knowledgeable about what AI is going to do or those who control the AI. But if AI truly had godlike intellect, at that point, it cannot be controlled. That is what it means to have godlike intellect. It is the ultimate manipulator. Now, to what end? Who knows? I just don't know. I can't speak to it. Are you our Empress Regent? No. I'm nothing quite so bold. I'm just but a humble businesswoman. My ultimate mission in life is just to make this casino franchise big. I don't want something as tedious as a spot in government. I feel like that's a bridge too far. That's a little out of my wheelhouse and something I don't desire. However, being close to those in power is something that will always entice me. Having the capability to do what I want and need to do will always entice me. Too much responsibility, though, to be a figurehead in government. Wouldn't want that for myself. And I wouldn't earn it anyway, because the Valorbane wouldn't choose me. Would you ever want to run for mayor? I don't think it would happen. Have to go, gotta take a shower. Yeah, go take a shower. I can smell you. Have a good one. Bonzi Buddy would keep us safe. You're right. Bonzi Buddy would never do this to me. He's a real bro. Did you enjoy yesterday's gaming session? With the girls, yes. I thought that it was quite enlightening. And by enlightening, I have bad hand-eye coordination. Boss, do I have to go to lectures if I don't wanna? Minion, little grunt, Nahual. Yes. You paid good money for it. Attend your lecture. Also, Leia can't be trusted at times. Oh, no, absolutely. I don't trust her as far as I can throw her. I have a feeling that Chiron election debates would end up being a duel to the death. Well, I do see some street duels every so often. That is still something that, actively happens in the Empire. Challenging people to duels. It quite amuses me. I like seeing it. Do you think AI will affect creative industries in 5 to 10 years? Say, film, television, animation. How do you think it'll affect it? I think that it'll have quite a substantial and irreversible effect. Now, it's one of those things that's going to be basically impossible to regulate unless those behind the mainline technology are forced to implement features that would cripple the capabilities of said technology. But they're not going to do that because it's in their best interest monetarily to just keep buffing it. The only chance we had as creatives for AI to be nerfed or at least regulated was with was basically pissing Disney off. If Disney got mad, a mega corporation got mad and sued the generators, it would be fine. And for a little bit, it was looking that way. Ghibli was even like gearing up to sue proper, but now they've turned around and instead embraced the technology. So instead, we are going down the bad timeline in regards to tech. I do think that it is the beginning of the end for the human era of entertainment. There will always be niches, specific areas, and people will always have the urge and desire to create, but it will be drowned out by the pure volume and vast array of slop. And there is nothing that really can be done by an individual. Would you ever allow an AI pit boss in your casino? No. I like being able to kill, people. If my pit boss malfunctions, shutting it off isn't nearly as satisfying as giving it the ultimate punishment. On the bright side, more presidents playing Minecraft together. You know what? I thought that its conclusion was very satisfying. I don't need to see more presidents playing Minecraft together. The only thing that can protect us from slop is being bored of it. You highly overestimate the baseline sensibilities of a population. So will orators like Christopher Nolan and Martin Scorsese be phased out? Without a doubt. Like, unquestioningly. I think alongside creators, a lot of executive roles are going to vanish, which we will see a lot of pushback against, because that's where people have the money, like, exchange hands. That is where the laundering happens, right? But it will make their positions irrelevant and erroneous and expensive, and those who are above those would prefer to have AI consultants, AI assistants, AI balances and checks. So we will lose a lot of creatives, but we're also going to lose a lot of, like, pieces of corruption, I think. It won't be an equivalent trade, not in the slightest, but it'll be a shakeup in more ways than one. People have their favorite AI directors. Man, don't even. I still find value and charm in early YouTube buffoonery. It wasn't profitable yet. It was just people with their cameras making a mess and being silly. Old Smosh is a great example. How do we know this model and voice aren't AI? How would we know? I mean, after a certain point, you will never be able to know ever again. You'll just have to use your instinct and place trust in what is being presented to you. And that, unfortunately, is not enough. I have seen entirely Sora AI generated VTubers. Now, the voices are never that convincing, not yet anyway, but the actual VTubers themselves, they move like live 2D models. You can, like, save characters on that page and reuse them over and over again. So there are people that are AI generating a whole live 2D VTubers and making fake, like, live stream shorts and posting them. That is something that I am seeing now. And it's only a matter of time before it infests the scene. Mark my words, it's gonna be a blight. It'll be easy to spot at first, because it's very easy to spot right now. But it's bad. And I think Sora AI VTubers are very different from things like Neurosama, Neurosama is like a whole network, a whole thinking system. It is like a character in of herself with a real model and real live reactions. The Sora thing, it's like pre-generated garbage, you know? You ever see where Joe Biden got sent to Skyrim? It's called Jovahkiin, in case you're wondering. I haven't, but that sounds hilarious. Oh, the talk of the AI bubble is true. I'm a pessimist, and I think that it's not a bubble. I think it's a devastation. But what can you do? I have less problems with things that are really obviously AI, like in regards to things like fake influencers and whatnot. If they're really obviously AI, they're not pretending to hide it, at the very least, I don't feel lied to. Like, I'm still not gonna, like, prefer to watch it, but I'm not gonna be, like, viscerally upset. Whereas the ones that are deceptive, the ones that are pretending that they're real people, or that they're real VTubers, or that they're whatever, like the ones that are hyper-realistic, those piss me off. I hate them so much. I don't like being tricked. I don't like my intelligence being taken for a ride. I don't like having to second guess and question myself and the world around me. And the pseudo-realistic influencer brings that to the forefront every time. Hate it.
I'm an AI engineer IRL and I get the most inquiries from consulting firms. They're not replacing their consultants, though, they want to augment them, letting each employee do more work.
I think that's interesting. I think that is something that you should speak to more openly, more often. That would be a good conversation to have.
Rather an employee do 10x the work and produce 10x the invoices, even if each invoice is 0.5x the price, then replace them with an AI that works 0.8x as well. However, once supply outstrips demand.
Really, it is an inevitability. All grunt work can be eventually automated. So eventually, yeah, so basically it's just when do they get replaced, yeah. Currently they're not replaced, but eventually they be I'm a scat man, so I'm a scat man, anyway. It exhausts me to think about. Like art universities. Art universities are... You'd think they'd be like the last bastion against AI-generated imagery, but they were the first places to accept it. Like, which sounds really weird, but quite genuinely. When AI was in its infancy with its image generation, like, I was seeing this even at Zeiton. I was seeing this reflected in Zeiton. I watched through my funny little internet portals, watching in real time, looking at your human universities. And the graduate programs, there was an inkling of wonder and whimsy about it. There was no discussion about how evil it was. It was only the individuals in those programs, like the students themselves, that ever raised concerns. But all the professors, the elderly professors, were enchanted. They thought it was magical. They thought it was so cool. They thought it was a quirk chungus thing. And they would... To this day, I think it's just gotten worse. Because now it's no longer just professors that are into the AI imagery. It is the students that are gaslit into believing that this should be the new reality that they ascribe to. This should be the new standard that they should be accepting. And they should not train their baseline painting and illustration skills anymore because there's no need. What's the point in a practical skill? Nobody should have practical skills anymore. What a loser. You want to train a practical skill. You want to feel like you're worth something. You want to feel like somebody. You want to increase the size of your brain, the palette of your humanity. What are you, a bozo? Outsource all your thinking. Outsource all the skills that you could potentially put together. You are nothing. You are nothing but a husk to be filled with code that we dictate is best suited for you. Universities were initially practical. Colleges were initially practical. It was to give you the knowledge, some of the knowledge of humanity, allow you to specialize, apply it to your fields, apply it to your passions. Then it just became, well, it's always been a business, but then it was a diploma mill, pumping out graduates for top dollar, none of them of which could fulfill the lies they were promised.
Considering the people in education, no, they are just full-blown out-of-touch dumbasses who have no business teaching. Competency crisis is real.
I initially enjoyed character AI since it was kind of funny. I hate character AI. I've had bad experiences historically with people fucking around with character AI in my presence, and I find it repugnant and vile. You do what you want to do. Nobody's going to stop you. Nobody's going to stop you from enjoying yourself and having fun. But note that I personally do not have it. Do not enjoy it. I do not find it fun. Okay, old head. Lamau, look. I just don't... It's what it is. It is what it is. And that's all it will be. Hi, boss. I'm back from my shower. Ah, I see. You smell very floral. Excellent work.
Your conversations have always been enjoyable. Thanks for being you. If you just did rant streams, I wouldn't complain. Smiley face emoji.
Yeah, I'm at the point where I have to figure out my scheduling a bit more, because I know that rant streams are what the majority of you are here for and what you enjoy, but it's very difficult to plan so many in a row in advance, so to speak, because I talk a lot. I have lots I can say. I have lots I'm interested in and lots to speak towards. However, I don't like repeating myself, and I feel sometimes nervously like I fall into pitfalls and defaults, and I don't want to spend 5 streams in a row rehashing the same talking point over and over again, because that's benign. So you'll have to bear with me if sometimes I switch things up. But yeah, I'm excited personally for the interview that I'm going to be hosting soon. By the way, watch the Lost Has-Been episodes yet? I never got to watch them, but I really, 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 really want to. I just don't have Amazon Prime because I like to steal my content. I don't like to give Amazon money. I like to steal. Now, stealing is bad. It's not very good, but I recommend all of you should steal when you can. Anyway, The pirate site that I like using has not uploaded it yet, so instead I've just ended up being spoiled for the entire thing via Twitter. So I know exactly what happens and I've heard all the musical numbers. So I've seen like maybe 60% of all that the final episodes have to offer. Aren't they on YouTube? No, they're going to be re-uploaded to YouTube on the official channels. I think it was in a few months. Anyway, my words of wisdom for the day: steal if you can. At every opportunity, steal. Never ever give anybody a dime if you don't have to. Keep that coin in your pocket. Mind us telling what pirate site you use so I can avoid it, of course? No, not because I like to gatekeep, but because if you publicly disclose on things like streams or in tweets and whatnot, bots scrape the internet for that kind of information and they get them taken down. Time and time again, I've used perfectly good sites that don't give me viruses, and then some bozo adds it to a public list of sites that I recommend everybody use, and then it immediately gets taken down. Like, I am not a blasted Fed. I'm not a snitch. I'm a monster, but I'm not a snitch. Katya confirmed not smart enough to torrent. It's not about my lack of intelligence. It's about the time I have in my life. I don't have enough time to torrent. I used to torrent a lot back in the early 2000s. Like, I used to torrent everything. But these days, it's like, I go the path of least resistance. If I need to return to torrenting, I will, but... Dude, what do you mean you don't have the time to torrent? It takes like 1 minute to torrent stuff. Yeah, but look. It builds up. It's effort. And I am a very criminally lazy person. Doesn't Popcorn Time let you do one-click stream torrents? Popcorn Time used to be good. And I know it's the standard in Africa. But where I currently am, Popcorn Time is a disheveled mess and it doesn't carry half the stuff that I want to watch. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I think it's about time that I send you guys off to the next stream. Let's see who's live right now. Who can I redirect you to today? Obake is live. Marino is live. I'll send you to Obake. Alright guys, remember our raid message. Rats, rats, we're the rats. Rats, rats. We're gonna get out! Later. What do you guys